Hello everyone, welcome to YourPedia and this is Shubha. So this video is for all the ones who are preparing for CPCL. Now you see that the PSUs like CPCL, HPCL, IOCL, 75% of the interview runs on the HR questions and 25% just on the technical part. Because the profile you are going for, that does not only require your professional background testing, but also the skills like communication skills, PR skills, collaboration skills, marketing skills, they are also going to be tested. And how the testing is going to be done? The testing is going to be done through the profound HR questions. From where you can get the exposure of these HR questions? Through this video, I'm going to provide you a documentation, a detailed documentation, through which I'm going to categorize some of the HR questions into multiple groups. The very first is based on the personality and self-introduction. That is all about your personality. Whatever you have written in your CV, in your resume, whatever you have submitted so far, those are going to play a very crucial role in your interview because you need to justify those parts. So this is the very first category. Second comes your career goal and motivation, like why you want to come for this position, why particularly CPCL. Obviously you need to justify them. If you are going for any particular profile, you're going for any particular organization, what is the reason behind it? You need to justify it a very good grounds. You cannot simply say that ma'am, I'm coming because of the job security, I'm coming because of the work-life balance, I'm going for the stability. These are the big no's to be answered, that why you're coming for this organization. Particularly never say these things. Now the next is related to teamwork and leadership. Suppose you're coming with the experience background, or you have mentioned in your strengths that you're a good team leader, you're a good team player. So obviously you need to justify that part. So how come you can do it? So based on the past experiences, past your job occupation, they are going to ask you multiple questions, and on that background, multiple HR questions are already there. Then is about your communication and interpersonal skills. Now this thing can be tested on two grounds. One is your case studies part or some kind of a behavioral skills. Or when I'm just testing you out, I'm just listening to your conversation, I'm going to see that how you're going to maintain the relationship with the stakeholders. What if a conflict comes up? So all these questions, something that requires a brainstorming, comes in this category. Then is about the cultural fit and ethics and about the organization. So obviously you need to know about a detailed version about the organization too. Like if I'm coming for any organization, I need to know about the projects which are running under that organization. And CPCL is a subsidiary of which organization, when it became the part of that, or under which, like the current revenue, the financial performances, about the mission, about the vision, everything about that company is very, very important. So yes, some questions about the organization. Last but not the least, about the oil and gas industry, like the current competition, about the other competitive stuff in the market, how CPCL is different from the others, on what scale we can grow. So basically this also has bunch of attitudinal and behavioral question. So this was a brief which I told you at the very start what I'm going to discuss in my video. The documentation of this entire questionnaire, this is there on YourPedia panel. You can just go to download section, make sure that you download the documentation and start practicing thoroughly, because as I already told you, 75% of your interview is going to be only on the HR part. So basically that is based on the past records, past interview performances, or the feedbacks what the students has provided us. Now let's get started with the very first part, and that is personality and self-introduction. The very basic question is how to introduce yourself. Make sure that you have given or you can say you have practiced your introduction thoroughly, and that should be very sequential. It could be ascending order, it could be descending order. Do not add unnecessary details in your introduction. Second is, how would your friends describe you? That's a generalized question. What are your greatest strengths and weaknesses? Obviously they are going to ask about your strength, about your SWOT. So basically you have to tell how your strengths or weaknesses, they are justifying with the profile you are going for. So be smart enough, and even if you have written something in your resume or CV, whatever you have given, or you can submit the form, make sure that you're able to justify those strengths. That plays a very crucial role to justify your personality. Why we should hire you over other candidates? So obviously your answer should be very much structured, that yes, you have certain soft skills, certain hard skills, how the combination of that can make you an asset for the organization. This should be the hit list. What motivates you to work in the workplace? Any of the incident you have to describe in a challenging situation. Now how do you manage stress or pressure that comes up? What is success for you? How do you define success for yourself? So I'm just reading a glimpse of the questions. The rest you can just go for a thorough analysis and by downloading the documentation. The next is about the career goals and motivation, like why particularly CPCL, where you are going to see yourself in the next 5 years, how do you imagine your first and last day in the organization. So what they are testing is that are you planning a long-term career, or you just say it will be a farewell day and everyone will be, I'll be very nostalgic, I'll be going to join a new organization. So there comes a joke. Are you going to be the day of your last day should be particularly your retirement day? So something that should be fitting in your answer. Your long-term goals, why do you choose engineering as your career? Your biggest career achievement so far, your biggest failure so far, regrets so far. How does this position align with your career path? Are you willing to relocate or work in shifts? Very important question. If you're near to the selection criteria, obviously they are going to ask you this question for sure. How do you plan to grow within the organization? What do you expect from this job in terms of learning? How do you handle failure in professional life? Then comes about the teamwork and leadership, like tell us a time when you lead a team. How do you deal with conflicts? Have you disagreed with your team leader and what did you do? How would you be motivating your teammates? How would you be prioritizing tasks in group assignments? Have you ever faced a difficult teammate and how would you be handling that situation? What is your leadership style and how do you build trust within a team? So obviously you are to work in a team and they are going to check out your team building exercises and team building skills also, like how to motivate the person, what motivational theories do you use for yourself, and how you will be motivating the employees who are working under you. The next comes communication and interpersonal skills section, that comprises of how do you communicate complex technical information to non-technical person. Very important, because overall you are to make understand a layman. Like suppose you're in the marketing skills, how you're going to make the complex things easier to be understood by a layman or by a person who is non-technical in nature. Then is, can you describe a time when your communication skills help resolve an issue? What do you mean by, like, how do you handle feedback and criticism? What do you understand if someone misunderstands your instructions? Do you are a good listener? Why do you think that you're a good listener? Then what's your approach to presenting in front of a senior management? Have you ever had to negotiate with someone? You can just describe a situation. You can say, how do you build rapport with new colleagues or client? So basically what they're testing is communication skills is going to play a very crucial role in your profile. So they are testing based on your past experiences, and some of the experience which you will be sharing, that should not be bluff at all. You should not be bluffing in your entire interview. Make sure you should be true to your answers and you should be describing it in a very systematic manner, because more you speak in a systematic manner, more it is good to be listened by the head. Next it is about your cultural fit and ethics, like what does integrity mean to you in a workplace? How do you handle situations where you are asked to compromise your values? Ethical dilemmas you have faced so far and how did you resolve it? Do you believe in work-life balance? Like what according to you is work-life balance and how do you maintain it? How would you respond if you were offered a bribe in your role? What kind of company culture help you thrive? Next is about the organization, very important, like what do you know about CPCL, about the current chairman, CMD of CPCL. CPCL is a subsidiary of which Indian oil company? That is key refineries of CPCL. So obviously make sure that whenever you're going for any organization, you have gone through the website also and the documentation which have already been shared by the YourPedia team, YourPedia panel, it is already there. Go through the documentation because everything is there in that documentation based on the brief history, whatever you need to require, management, mission, vision, projects, current policies, why it was in news, about the CSR activities, everything is there in that documentation. So make sure you read the documentation and then you thoroughly practice the questions which are based about the organization on that documentation. Then about the oil and gas industry, like what do you understand by the term downstream in the oil and gas industry? What are the current challenges faced by the refinery industry? How is digitalization transforming the oil and gas sector? Can you name some major competitors of CPCL? How is India planning to reduce its dependence on fossil fuels? Then it is fossil fuels. What are some environmental risks associated with petroleum refining and how should they manage? How does CPCL ensure sustainability and environmental compliance in its operations? So multiple set of questions are there. I have given you the brief, the most important ones through this documentation. Make sure that you practice to the most, and how to practice it. There are three multiple ways I'm going to tell you. One, stand in front of the mirror, the best way to actually start rehearsing in your own. Second, make your videos, that could be digital videos, and start, you can say, checking your facial expressions. The third, very important, practice with mentors. Why I say so? Because whatever the feedback, the small shortcomings which you cannot see, and what can be the structured answers, only the mentors can guide you to the best. Make sure that you practice to the most. See you soon in the mock interviews and HR Snap interviews. So all the best, take care, and do not forget to download the documentation. Any doubts, please post up in the comment section. Take care and have a good day.